Commissioner Aiken in that corner.
Where?
Black corner.
Good. Commissioner, yeah.
Y'all ready to get this show on the road? Okay. So, very high level introduction. My name is Dennis Lozano with Malone Wheeler Engineering Company. We work for Spring Hill. This is Keith Steffen. He's the Assistant General Manager of Operations for Spring Hill Special Utility District for many years, almost 60 years, I guess, with Spring Hill Water Supply Corporation, and recently converted to Spring Hill SUD. Mike Andrews, the general manager, wanted to be here tonight. Unfortunately, he's in the hospital and was not able to be discharged. Really wanted to be here and was concerned about not being able to be here. And very sorry that he's not here to represent Spring Hill. This is an important project to him personally, and it's just unfortunate circumstances that he's hospitalized and not able to be here tonight. So, to start, the reason why we're here is that Spring Hill has applied to Evergreen Underground Water Conservation District for a permit to produce groundwater that it has leased in the far northeastern corner of Wilson County, and to transport that water from Wilson County into Guadalupe County. I'm going to we have some bases that we need to cover, and then I'm going to open it up for any question y'all want to answer or ask about this. We're open with all information about it. I understand the notices, some of the notices that went out were a little bit late. We were trying to understand and get all the letters sent and the rules of the, I appreciate Erin, wherever she sat down to, that with the general manager of Evergreen is here and has worked with us to prepare this application, make sure we meet all the rules, that we're notifying the proper folks, and it's been a little bit of a process to get there. But we were successful in summary, I guess, for the turnout here, and appreciate y'all's interest in the project, and again, completely open about what we're trying to do and Spring Hill SUD's application. So, so first, I introduced Spring Hill and who we are. Spring Hill is a utility with customers in Guadalupe County and Wilson County. We serve about 12,000 meters in both of those counties. And one thing that I think it's important to note is that Spring Hill has a number of water sources. We are seeking to produce water for domestic service to domestic connections in our system. Our system is 99+% residential in the areas surrounding Seguin of Guadalupe County and south and into the very northern part of Wilson County. And we have surface water rights that we purchase, surface water rights that we produce, groundwater rights that we purchase, or groundwater that we purchase, and groundwater rights that we produce through our own wells, wholesale purchase water. So we have a mix and have all kinds of different eggs in different baskets to try and make sure that our water supply needs are covered. And we're not putting too many eggs in one basket, and have a good plan to provide for the water needs of our customers and our community. So this is a little bit of a blow up map, and I'm happy anyone can come up, or I'll show this around if it's a little bit small. I didn't want to kind of create a giant cartoon.
Guadalupe County border, Wilson, Gonzales. We're right there in that corner of Guadalupe,
I'm
Gonzales.
going to show y'all this a little bit.
What is
So
the road
identifies-
numbers? It'd be a lot easier if you just
The road?
the roads.
Dewberry?
What number they are, like 1681, 123,
Dewberry,
427.
Cowie. It's off of Cowie. It's a little dead end road called Dewberry.
Yep. tiny little road. So
Driveway more or less.
This is the green is Springs Hill service area. This is the Wilson Guadalupe County line, and this is Gonzales County. So the green is our service area where we serve customers currently. We have a little bit of service area in Wilson County, and the pink here in the corner, literally at the Tri-County intersection here, is the property where the groundwater rights are leased and proposed to be produced. So we have, Springs Hill has secured a lease. There was Springs Hill has deep roots in the community around here and lots of connections to the families that have been in this area for generations. And part of the reason why this lease is something that we were able to secure and bring to permitting is the connection and the desire of that lessor to provide the water to Springs Hill specifically. And it was a relationship there that the owner of the property wanted to lease those rights to Springs Hill. So we have proposed the water rights allocated to that property are 1,000 acre feet. And we are proposing to drill a single well on that property with a production rate of 1,600 gallons a minute. We have done, with Aaron's help and with careful study of the rules, there's a binder that's publicly available with all of the technical information in the application. If you want to get into the nuts and bolts of the modeling and everything that went into the background, but essentially have walked through the application process and provided all the technical information to the Underground Conservation District, Underground Water Conservation District to get to this point. All of that information is publicly available. Happy to share it with you. We have it in printed form and it's in Evergreen's office. However, I'd be happy to share it with anybody if you would like to receive it electronically or distribute it. However, we are open to that, and this is, it's a public process. This is a public meeting, obviously, and Springs Hill is very transparent about the plans it has and what we're proposing to do. So, yes.
The application materials are also available online at the Evergreen website, www.evergreenuwcd.org, on our main page. So anyone who is interested is able to view the PDFs of the application.
So our home page is scroll down.
Scroll down, that's about midway down.
Thank you for that. Yeah, appreciate it.
That's what, 2.3 million gallons a day?
No, that would be max. It's not going to be.
Yeah, that's 1,500 gallons a minute, like you said.
Correct.
Over 2.3
However,
gallons.
yeah, and that's an important question. So when we permit water rights, we look at total annual quantity, and that's what the groundwater district permits.
There's been a demographics of future growth in the area for water needed.
I'm sorry?
A demographic study for future growth of the area. Has there been anything like that, or how much water might be needed in the future?
Yes. Springs Hill has an outward-looking capital plan that identifies all the facilities and pipes and pumps and treatment and the mix of water rights that we're looking for. It's called our land use assumptions is the projection part of it. Capital improvements plan is all the facilities, pumps and pipes and tanks and all of that stuff. And we have a plan. We've had one for years and just adopted a new one this year. Just finished with adopting a new capital plan with a 10-year outlook and what we need to serve those proposed connections.
You got what the population be in 10 years in the future?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
I know, I was at church years ago when they did demographics, and it exploded.
It exploded.
Yes.
So basically, in about
It
5
can
years,
happen anywhere.
in 5 years, we'll probably go through it again. It's out for 10, but we can't wait 10.
Yeah.
Not
And
anymore.
This is Springs Hill water?
Springs Hill Special Utility District. We were WSC from the 60s. I think it was like 67 whenever it was started until October of 24. We became a special utility district.
And part of the reason for that, and I think that's an important point, is that conversion into a special utility district allowed the utility to participate with some of these bigger regional water supply projects. We have irons in the fire and questions out open. So CRWA is in the room, SSLGC is in the room. We've been talking to GBRA. As I mentioned, we have a lot of eggs in a lot of baskets and are trying to put together a very robust a plan that doesn't focus all our needs in one place. But so that conversion to a SUD was in big part driven by a desire to gain access to some of these bigger regional projects that are being put together by folks like SSLGC, CRWA, GERA,
NRA.
et cetera, NRA,
US
Basin River
River
Authority.
But the study that was done was not for Evergreen Waterville. This is just for your subdivision for 10 years out, correct? There's not an updated version for Wilson County. Correct?
So-
There's no population growth study for Wilson County. This is just for the 12,000 customers that you currently serve.
Our plan is for our Spring
Yes.
Sill's plan is for Spring Sill's system, yes.
So that-
However,
yeah.
the modeling that's required to be done internal to Wilson County goes out 40 years and predicts groundwater
Done in
pumping and
2017.
level of the, I'm sorry?
And that was done in 2017.
We just well, as a part of the application, we're required to fold our proposed application in. We worked with Aaron and staff, their technical staff, to make some modifications and make sure we're accounting for things and update that model so we have the best look at what the groundwater picture looks like, the desired future conditions for the district whose responsibility it is to manage that groundwater. I want to get back to a point real quick to answer your question about acre feet and
Okay, wait a minute. If you're gonna run this thing as a meeting,
Yeah,
when the
let us
person
ask
raises
you.
their
Let
hand,
us
they
ask
need to be
you.
called on.
Yes, sir, I understand. And he had asked a question that I hadn't answered yet.
And
Who
he
do
said,
you work
there's
for?
one back there, there's one
There's-
over here,
there's
one
one
over
back
there.
Who do you work for? Tell us who you work for.
I work for Malone
You do
Wheeler
not work for.
as an engineering
Well, he
company.
works, he's a consultant
And
for
He's a
we
Spring
work
Sill's.
consultant, but he
for
he
Spring
works,
Correct.
he's paid to work for you.
Correct.
Yes.
What about the property owners? Are they giving up their mineral rights and water rights, or whatever you want to call it?
We are leasing their water rights.
Leasing.
Leasing.
The individual person or?
Yes.
It's one piece of property.
And one individual. And we have we lease their water rights, no mineral rights or anything, but we lease their water
What
rights.
if they don't agree to it? I mean.
They have agreed, the lease is in place. It's been
Yes.
signed.
It's already done, that part's already been done.
Well, how is that gonna affect our water underground? You know, on
Well-
our property?
Well, so that's the modeling piece of it, the technical piece of it is looking out at how this well will affect surrounding landowners and surrounding wells. And there's very strict requirements with the underground water conservation district about managing the water. So we've done all the modeling and looked out, and the proposed impact, one of the things that we have on this figure here is the impact of Springs Hill's proposed well on any surrounding wells. And the impact is very minimal. The amount of water that's under the ground here and the pumping rate that Springs Hill is proposing have very minimal impact within, a mile radius of the proposed well.
Well, I've heard, I don't know how true it is, that people drilled a water well on their property and they wound up having to put a water meter on their well.
That can happen. That might be a underground water conservation district thing. When folks start having to meter wells, that's typically where that comes from, and that is their responsibility to manage the water, so to know where it's going and who's pumping what. So our well, as an example, would be metered, and we have to report that to the underground water conservation district, and they have the right to come out and inspect.
Right beside you.
Yes, sir.
So you're saying on the allocation, how is that allocation being calculated? Is it calculated off of connections, or is it calculated off of acres that is owned?
So the allocation, we leased all of the rights that the water rights allocations are made by the underground water conservation district. They say this property has 1,000 acre feet worth of water rights. X, and it's by property.
The well that you're getting permitted, the allocated water that you're gonna be able to pump, is it based on what is allocated to the property, or is it based on the number of connections that Spring Hills has?
It's based on the water that's allocated to the property.
Okay, so that water allocated for that property, is all of it is being leased? 100%?
Yes. With, I think they have, there's a right for them to use,
Like a
little bit
residential?
around- of water for cattle or for, you know, a
Like
home.
almost
domestic
agricultural
uses.
use, like domestic use kind of deal.
On the property.
And like a normal 4-H row.
I'm sorry?
She had a question back there a while ago. Do you still have one? No,
I
behind
was
you.
just wondering, is this lease forever or is?
What is this one, 30 or
Any time?
40? At least 30 years. I don't remember exact number. I didn't ask, but I think it was a 30 year.
30 or 40.
30 or 40 year lease.
30 or 40 year lease?
Yes.
What does this have to do with the AI hub?
Nothing. I wasn't even aware of the AI hub until I got wind. Yeah.
Okay.
It's a data center or something. It has nothing to do with that. As I mentioned, this water is only for the domestic customers of Springs Hill. I'm sorry?
It's water coming out of Wilson County, and
Yes.
the AI hub's gonna take like.
2 million a day.
2 million a day.
So on top of your 3 million. I mean,
No, it's not. We don't pull
No.
3 million a day.
We don't.
We're 2.3.
Yours is gonna come off, that's gonna come off.
we're gonna have nothing left.
Well, our wells are gonna be dry.
So I will say that it's the response, we support the Underground Water Conservation District, and their responsibility is to make sure that when we propose a well, when this AI hub or whatever it is proposes a well, that they use the best science available, that they follow the rules of the Underground Water Conservation District and regulate that well. They report how much they're pumping, they look at they have monitoring and look at the groundwater level, and it becomes an evolving, it's not just a free-for-all. It's a regulated and very closely watched and best science modeled process.
But in this drought, water is a commodity.
It is.
And y'all are proposing to take this much water out of Wilson County, and we live on wells.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And so what happens when our well goes dry? Are y'all gonna come and drill deeper so that we can get water, or is that on us?
Actually, that's one of the things that we worked with Erin and her staff to provide in our permit is mitigation language. Should any of the landowners around our well experience drawdown, like say they have their well set right at the water table, and there's drawdown that's more than what was modeled. It could be that it's a result of us. It could be something totally unrelated. However, we are on the hook to either provide them water or to lower their well or to help them make sure that those folks have water. That's a condition of the proposed permit.
What's the proximity? I mean, because you're saying that one's right around where your well is. What about everybody else who's miles away, but we're still being drawn, the water's still being drawn out from us?
So, well, I'll say that there's a limited radius of influence. When you drill a well here, it doesn't affect the southwestern portion. Where we are in the top third of the county, in the very, very northeastern corner of the county, there's a radius of influence that depends on the soil and the rock that's underground and all of that. And our condition that we help provide water if there's drawdown more than what's anticipated is based on the model and the science. And so it's the best information that we have. It's agreed to, I think, and driven by the technical review at Evergreen, and we developed that language together. What mitigation measures would look like. But Spring Hill's committed, if they have an impact on the neighboring property, to make it right and to incur costs to do that. Whether it means providing our water or lowering a well or.
And that's great promise. How's that reserved?
It's written into the permit. It's a condition of the permit.
But I mean, the mechanics. Are you guys reserving U.S. Treasuries? Are you taking 10% of your profits? How is mitigation exposure going to be covered on your balance sheet so that the citizens feel comfortable that if water's drawn down and they don't have access to their water and water for their cows, that your mitigation plan isn't going to go bankrupt? Because what if it happens?
I don't foresee that. I mean, ever happening right
The
now.
scale of what we're
Certainly not.
talking about. The scale of what we're talking about. A residential well, 1,000 feet from where we are. 1,500.
Yeah.
I haven't heard what happened.
Carrizo.
Carrizo?
Yes, sir.
You say that's a large number.
It is all the way to Louisiana.
How much the Rio Grande is way up there? Is this going to the city of CD?
No, sir.
None at all.
Well, I mean, we do have some customers in the city, but Springs Hill surrounds the city of Seguin. We were a rural water provider that was started just
We're a
for.
completely separate entity from the city.
Do we have anyone here from Sunco Water?
Hang on, did everybody just do one at a time so we
Yes.
can hear? Please.
I mean, do we have a representative from Sunco?
No.
I wish that Sunco Water would have been here, because there's a lot of us who will be affected by that.
Yes.
By the Sunco Water, that's where our like a cooperative water comes from.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
And 1,600 gallon a minute well is a big well.
2.3 million gallons a day.
And it,
Well, and I want to answer that question because it's come up a couple times. That we have a total annual quantity, right? This 1,000 acre feet. And if you do the math, it converts to 2.3 million gallons a day. But we can't pump 2.3 million gallons a day 24/7. The reason why that rate is set
Or
is
can you
because
pump?
we can't pump all day long,
2.3
every day.
What?
2.3 a day is what he was
Why
just
can't
saying.
That's
But-
what you
but-
can
but-
pump?
By Evergreen, by the amount of water that we have leased. We can't pump 3 million gallons
How
a
much
day.
can you pump a day?
2.3 is what Dennis just said.
Okay, but he's saying that you don't have the ability to pump.
What
No,
I'm
what
saying
you
is
do-
What I'm
we
asking is
don't.
how much ability do you have that you can actually pump a day?
Are you talking about what the well will do or what we have water rights for?
What you
What's your
have
rights?
the ability with equipment to pump. in a day,
We
24
won't know
hours.
what that is exactly until we drill the well and see what it produces. What I'm trying to point to is that in order to produce 1,000 acre feet a year, you have to pump more than that because we can't run pumps 24/7. Right? We don't have customers using the water. We don't have tanks to put it into. We don't have a lake or reservoir or anything. So we pump it as we need it. And at times when folks got irrigation systems running or they're taking showers in the morning before work, we got high demand. That's when we'll pump. And then in the middle of the night we won't be pumping.
And this water is gonna be used for all your customers in Springs Hill?
It can't reach all right now. It'll be basically the south end of Guadalupe County.
Do you have a
Kind
map,
of,
And in Wilson, yeah.
and in Wilson, yeah.
do you have a map showing the radius of influence? Do you have something that shows the radius of influence on the water levels?
Let me see.
No.
That is available, it's in the hydrogeological study.
Yeah.
That is on our website. So there is some maps out there. And if you look at that and go, hey, that's not enough detail in that map, you can always contact the office and we can bring up the spatial data that the applicant provided for you to take a closer look at it.
And what depth will you all go?
Dennis, I don't remember what that depth was.
I forget.
Our wells down the road are 400 feet.
Yeah, do you remember, I don't remember the screening yet.
I don't.
Jill, do you remember that elevation offhand? No. I don't remember, it's in the binder which Aaron has, we might be looking
In
at
that area,
somewhere.
7-8 miles down the
300 feet.
road, we're like 340, the new one's 400. So I would assume.
I want to get to some folks that haven't answered the question.
Yes, mine is kind of twofold.
Okay.
Is one, in the permitting process, you asked for this, how is it granted? And most of us have known that on the south side of Gonzales County, we had friends when SAWS came in there and promised them the world, that their wells ran dry, they were not paid anything, and everything went to crap. And we're looking at, we have agricultural land and we have a home here, so it's very important to us. So my first thing is, how does the permitting work as far as when can it be stopped, who votes on it? And the other part is, what do we get from giving you these guys and agreeing to say, yeah, give them the water? What comes back to Wilson County?
Yeah, so, good questions. To answer the first question, prior to getting to this is part of the permitting process,
Okay.
right? So, and prior to getting to this, we have to do all the science and the modeling and submit the forms and work with Erin and her staff to make sure that we answer all the questions, and cover all the bases. We get the language in the draft permit that I talked about with
Okay,
mitigation
so
and
all
all of
that's
that
done.
stuff.
And
All of
now
that, then we got to
who's
this
gonna vote on
point.
giving you that permit?
The board of the Evergreen Underground Water Conservation
So
District.
how do we discuss this with them that we are not in support of doing this?
So the board meetings are public, and I think we're scheduled for November, current tentative.
First, so if you're going to offer written comments,
Okay.
they need to be submitted in writing by.
They can be submitted on the morning, the meeting is at the district office on 9 a.m. November 21st. You can submit comments that morning.
Okay.
If you want to protest the permit, those have to be submitted by 5 p.m. to the district, that you're requesting a contested case hearing. And then that process, if it goes to fruition, it goes to it's an administrative trial, basically, through the state office of administrative hearings, and it goes through that process.
5 p.m. what day?
One day.
Okay, so 5 p.m. on November 20th to the district. And that's in the notice, that's specifically listed in the notice. It was published in the paper, sent to neighbors, landowners, and online on the district website.
I would like to say, I've never seen it. If what you said wasn't garbage, then you wouldn't have a well permit right up here. You'd move across the county line to a different.
That water's leased.
It was a function of the property owner, and that property owner
The
specifically.
property owner is someone, Blumberg.
Yes.
Okay, he's been connected with the water districts up there for a long time. And also, if anybody remembers way back when, there is a 2.5 acre tract out of there that was bought by SUD. Anybody remember that name? Yes. All right, you all are not, you do not work, you may work for them, but you are not part of them. I don't know who else is here that works with your company, but I know you're doing everything for them, and they're paying you, I'm sure.
That's
And
how it works.
also,
Yeah,
want to tell
we-
everybody here that they do have, they will have, eminent domain.
Yeah.
She's been standing back there for a while now.
Yes, ma'am.
If you tried any other options, is this your first option?
No, we have, so Springs Hill has been looking for securing water rights. Like I mentioned, we have lots of different sources. There's not just one place we can go and get all the water that is needed for our customers. And so I've talked through a bunch of the different places that we get water. We sent letters to every single customer of Springs Hill requesting if they had 2 acre feet or half an acre foot, if they wanted to lease it across our entire service area. We've spent hours scouring the water rights in Guadalupe County. We have existing water rights in Guadalupe County and produce those rights in Guadalupe County. And so this is one piece of a lot of different pieces where we're looking. It's not our only option or the only place we've looked by far. And we've signed leases for 2 acre feet or 3 acre feet for folks that have wanted to use
lease
their
it.
water rights and lease it to their.
Yes.
That's all that's available.
Scrapping are you anticipating? I mean, how much are you actually expecting to need from them? Is this the place you're expecting to get the bulk?
No, we have far more rights in other baskets that we're requesting from other folks, whether it's surface water or groundwater from Guadalupe County or other other places. This is not the bulk of the water that we are, that's a part of our plan. And we're going to continue to look for water rights because we need them to stay ahead of the growth in our service area. Yes, ma'am, she's had her hand raised.
My question is, when do you, the reason you need this water is because of the huge amount of growth in Guadalupe County right now, and in Mesquite. When you say, we don't have enough water, we have to go to all of the other counties to get the water we need, when do we say, no, we don't have enough water? We can only grow to what we have the resources to support. When do we say no?
Yes, I understand. Well, I guess that's a decision that the community and the Underground Water Conservation District and the board of that district have to make. We have a responsibility to provide service within our service area, and we're doing the best we can
We have a
to make
responsibility
a
for the
plan.
people that live here that already
I agree.
that have already.
What does Wilson County get that?
It's not within your service area.
Thank you for saying.
Can you get water from Church Seguin water?
We do.
Okay.
We do currently.
Have you looked at getting more water from Church City?
Yes.
Yes, we have.
And are y'all allocated that water yet, or have y'all?
Yes, and we're looking for more.
And how much have you asked for?
We had like, I want to say we had like
2,050, and then we added 750, so we had 2,000 acre feet, and then there's additional water.
That we're looking at.
We're talking with Andrew and his folks about securing from them.
How much is that additional?
How much
How much
more?
additional water? I think you're thinking right now around 8 acre feet.
An additional
840 and 1250, we have a 5 temporary, and we're discussing 750.
an additional
So
750.
it's pretty much double what you're getting currently from.
Yeah, just from Andrew. Can we, he's
Yes, sir,
been back
he's
there for a
had-
while.
You said minimal impact. What do you consider minimal?
I think, I don't want to misspeak, but it's on the range of single feet of drawdown at a radius of a half a mile or something like that away. And it's out looking for 40 years. So the detail, it depends on what time frame you're looking for and what distance from the well you're looking for. All of that information is in the material, and I'd be happy to help walk through it. We have a hydrogeologist that also did the modeling work and ran it through the technical folks at Evergreen to check it and to make sure that we're accounting for all this stuff. So it depends on how far and what point in time, but we've looked out with the best science and the best modeling and current data that we have to determine what the impacts would be.
Okay, are you guys part of the one that just got refused in Guadalupe County
No, sir.
for Seguin and?
Oh, that's a golf course.
Okay, where's this water going? Just houses, no golf courses? No?
Correct.
Correct. We do not serve any golf courses. We serve 99% residential customers, and we serve employers in Seguin like Caterpillar and a couple and local businesses. But we do not serve no golf courses.
Okay, what do us as Wilson County taxpayers get out of any of this?
Nothing.
Nothing?
No.
You just take our water and say, well, y'all on y'all.
What is this for, a subdivision?
Not a special subdivision, no ma'am.
No, it's not. It's for growth in our service area generally.
So basically, it's for an eventual subdivision that's gonna be built there.
Well,
You're
well,
gonna
there's
take, new people moving in are gonna get water and take it from the community members in Wilson County that have lived on this land for decades. Our wells are gonna go dry.
I don't
Because-
think that's not true. I don't think that's true.
But Saw
You
said
can't say it's not true though.
You can't say that it is true. I mean, we've used the best tools that we have. Allow me to answer the question. I'll be happy to call on you in just a moment. We've used the best tools that we have, and they show that wells are not going to go dry. If that were the case, we wouldn't be here. Erin and her staff would not have allowed us
But
to
you
get
didn't
to
know
this.
about the data AI that's coming. And
That's
that's
an
an
extra-
extra.
yeah, that's more coming out of Wilson County. You didn't even know about
We have
that.
nothing,
Take
I don't
that,
know
I know
anything
that.
about
I
that
know that.
application.
I
I don't
understand
have
that.
anything to do
Then
with
take
that
that and take
application.
back and rewrite
They
your stuff
have
and
to,
then tell
they
us
have
what's
to
going
go
on.
through their own process, and the hub, the
So
central
you're basically what,
regulatory
being
authority
down to the permit.
is the Evergreen Water, Underground Water Conservation District. I didn't know anything about them until today.
I understand you didn't know anything about them, but we know it's coming. It's in our backyard. We know it's coming, and we know how much they're gonna
I'm
be
gonna
taking.
call, the lady in pink shirt hasn't asked the question.
Okay, so basically, we can sit here and say whatever we want to say, whatever. It comes down to this board voting yea or nay. We don't really have a say.
Correct. You have a say, but they're the representatives of Wilson County that are tasked with the responsibility of managing the groundwater.
So but they vote however they want, you know.
They
It's
will
up to
vote
them.
on it, yes, and they will consider your comments, your input, your requests.
Also, under Texas Water Code Section 36.113D, the Evergreen Underground Water Conservation District must consider whether a proposed permit would unreasonably affect existing groundwater, nearby wells, or current permit holder. The district has the authority to deny or place conditions on any permit if it finds the harm is likely. And it seems like it is.
Which it is.
Yes.
And under section 36.1132, the district is required to make sure that all permitted pumping stays consistent within sustainable groundwater use and the district's adopted desired future conditions for the aquifer. Just last week, as this gentleman mentioned, the Guadalupe County Groundwater Conservation District denied a water permit request for a proposed golf course near Seguin after hearing from local landowners who were concerned about their wells. That district made the right call. They recognized their responsibility under Texas law to protect local water first. Evergreen has the same responsibility here in Wilson County. If Guadalupe County can stand up for its landowners and aquifers, so can Evergreen.
Yes.
We are asking Evergreen to use that authority. Please.
But we know that's not but we know via the vote for the data center that that's not the case.
Right.
So, yeah, they've already thrown us under the bus
It's up
there.
1.3. Yeah, I have.
And there was no meeting like this for
Nope.
that I know of.
Nope.
No.
And us neighbors were not
There
considered.
was, but now they're turning
Or
to the district.
notified.
There was a permit hearing, there's a permit hearing for every single district. At the, they have,
Nowhere near it.
Nobody
It's a flash check 30 seconds, you're correct, you're right. The other unfortunate thing that affects this, that also in 36113 in the Texas Water Code, is that the legislature prohibits us from distinguishing between type or location of use. That's not the groundwater districts, that's the state legislature. And right now, that this is a big issue, I don't know if you read in the paper, this is a big issue going on with the legislature. If you have issue with that, talk to your legislators about having that changed, because we can't discriminate on where that water is used. We have to treat every permit, whether it's ag or public water supply, using this county or that
But at
county.
what point
the
did they
same.
say he's given the 2.2 million a day? We're looking at 2.3 up to
It
2.3.
is one of the mandatory considerations of the district, and that's why they're having this meeting. We did it, and this meeting was not required.
That's not taking into consideration what they've already given for the AMA. This is, they've been working before the AMA did.
Right. there's
So
no-
when you say there's none, now there's another 2.2 million coming up.
Right, so let me say, Guadalupe County, they did, there were landowners that protested that permit, and there's a process. So in the notice on the district's website, call the district, talk to us, there is a process for that as well.
This gentleman had a question, and if I could ask him, folks to just be quiet a little bit so we can hear the question, I can answer it, and y'all can hear the responses and the questions. So we just to get as much information out as we can.
I have multiple questions.
Okay.
First question, you said Evergreen works with your company, so is there any kind of coordination, talking, any kind of information where Evergreen, you guys talk? Because as they've been talking about the data center going in, which is supposed to use 2 million gallons a day, you're talking about using 2.3 million gallons a day. There's a solar farm going, which I don't know how much they're supposed to do.
I think that's the data center.
No.
No, it's not, they're separate.
So that's the first part of the question. The second part of the question is, you said that your wells are 350 to 400. My well is 200. So you're already going past the depth into the aqueduct. You know, you're going to draw more water. And then the third part is what they've been all asking. What are we supposed to do since you're supplying water to an outside resident when we have growth here? My trees are dying. I had to get rid of farm animals because we're in drought. You know, and you're saying that the wells aren't going dry? I had to call the well guy to come out to look at planting my well deeper. So if you're drawing water 2.3 million gallons a day, you're drawing 2 million a day. You know, I'm on the hook for going deeper, and you're saying that you're going to pay for it? I ain't seen nobody come by with any orders or offers to take care of that.
I don't know where your residence is located.
That's fine if they're outside. It's
No,
not
we
all
also, we have a few customers in Wilson County. We have service area in Wilson.
Okay, and then the last thing is you're talking about metering our wells. We have wells, you did say it earlier.
Well,
That's not me.
That's-
A woman asked the question and mentioned water metering and wells. And I don't have anything to do with that. The entities that regulate what groundwater and would require or place a meter on a well would be a water conservation district.
Understand
And that
that,
happens in
there's
some
a
cases.
conservation issue in play because of all the water that's being taken out.
The reason why there's a conservation district is to help manage, regulate, and
They're not
protect the
doing a good
groundwater.
job.
That's yes.
Okay, so you're
gonna pump all of this water, what is your plan for when your customers are in drought? Are you going to have different stages to limit it?
Yes.
And how much? And is it going to be what Hayes County does to that extent? Because we don't do that here. We're not the same account as Hayes County with the efforts aquifer. So what is your plan here? If your wells are gonna be 300, 400 and ours are 2.
Yes.
What is your plan for your customers?
So-
Are you gonna make any additional customers you're putting on have zero scape? That they're not gonna have farm animals? Like, what is your plan?
So we have, because of the number of sources we actually have overlapping drought contingency plan requirements. We have them from GBRA and CRWA, and we've added actually provisions would come into play with this permit that make sure that we're consistent with the rules for Evergreen on top of that. So
Are
we
you
kind
gonna
of,
charge them? Are you gonna send out tickets? Are you gonna monitor what days they're watering? Like, how are you going to enforce these things for your customers?
so the enforcement piece and how the water police and how that operates is more an operations issue. That would be the purview of Springs Hill. But the short answer to your question is yes, drought contingency planning is critical, and we have reductions, like firm reductions in usage requirements as a part of our drought contingency plans. And there are, because we have a bunch of sources, multiple layers of drought contingency, including some that come specifically from Evergreen.
The reason everybody's here is because we are in a drought.
Yes, ma'am.
So I have a couple of questions. Are y'all currently still looking to expand your CCN?
No, we actually gave up some of our
CCN. Within the past couple of years, gave up, CCN is service area,
I
essentially.
gave up a portion of
It's
CCN a couple years ago, about 4 years ago probably.
About 3 years ago, we gave up 9,000 acres of CCN to the city of Sabine. And that was partially to help balance the water supplies that we have and the demands that we have. And, you know, but yes.
It's a high growth area.
9,000.
Number two, what would you say to the people here about well data? If you're saying it's gonna be a minute amount of drawdown in wells, neighboring wells, when here in the city of Stockdale, we have a monitoring well, no pump in it, just a monitoring well for Texas Water Development Board that has dropped over 80 feet in the last 30 years.
So
80 feet is the full depth of some of these people's wells. That would put them 0 water in their wells. And that's with no outlanded pumping in the area.
So I guess what I'd say is that the part of the conditions of the permit require that we report all our usage, that we include monitoring wells and the ability for Evergreen to come out and inspect our facilities at any time, provide access to them. And so, you know, we use the best forecasting tools that we have. I can't speak to what's happened in the past. Underground water conservation districts are relatively new, and there were response, I think, to some of the things that have happened in the past with aquifers getting overpumped. But part of what we would do as a part of our permit and with Aaron and the Evergreen staff is help build out the data set and provide more information about what's happening in the aquifer. And they're managing it. The idea is to manage and allow folks that have water rights to use those rights, but then also make sure that there's enough to go around.
Would there be a special drought contingency plan for this well? Or would it be just based off of what y'all have in another county?
So there are special conditions that are unique to Evergreen that come into play because of this. If we end up with this well as a source, we would apply those drought contingency requirements to our entire service.
The strictest drought contingency plan, that's the one we use, and it goes through our entire system, whether it's GBRA, water, service again. It doesn't, we don't just pick out, we're gonna use this drought contingency over there. We pick the strictest one, and it's the entire CCN, it's our entire service area.
Yes, ma'am.
So this probably isn't a question for you, but it's related to you. So I don't know who the authority was talking in the back, but my understanding is all of this being pulled from one aquifer, the Creek.
Yes.
So who has the overall management of that aquifer? Right, so.
Mexico, all the way to Louisiana.
The entire aquifer or Wilson County?
Well, and I'm looking at regional, because an aquifer is, you know, you're looking for a sustainable source of water. an aquifer is a finite source, depending on if you're talking about drought, recharge, etc. So who is ensuring that there is some sustainable plan long-term to ensure that that aquifer has water that you want to draw, data center wants to draw, people want to draw for ag, etc. Who has that total plan?
Well, there's Evergreen Water Development Board. there's
If
several-
Gonzalez, if Guadalupe, Evergreen, Evergreen.
I think Aaron's probably
largest.
the best person to answer, to speak to that question.
So the Evergreen manages the Carrizo and other aquifers within our jurisdiction. But Lake Cochran is also here from Guadalupe County, who manages the Carrizo in her jurisdiction. How Texas allocates responsibility for managing the water resources is through groundwater conservation districts. There is regional coordination through groundwater management areas. For the Carrizo in this particular area, that's GMA 13. Guadalupe, Evergreen, Gonzalez are all part of that groundwater management area. And then we roll up into joint planning with surface water into Region L, and then that rolls up into the state water plan, which is managed by the Texas Water Department. So there's multiple layers depending on the resource, but the state has allocated local control of groundwater resources through the groundwater conservation.
So each region is making an independent decision on their authority for that piece of the Carrizo aquifer. And there's only so much water in that aquifer, which is a finite source.
It goes all the way to
Right,
Texas, all the
right.
way to
Louisiana.
Right.
May-
So,
May I ask you a question? You're Evergreen. Who permitted the right to put Edwards water in the Carrizo sand at Elmendorf? They pumping their excess water, they said. One is an alkali and one is a sand.
The ASR project is actually.
No, how can you clean that filter? Once it gets stopped up, how can you clean that sand? That's all the question. Tell me.
So that's the technical question. What I can say is that the ASR project is located in Bear County, in which there is not a groundwater conservation district, and we do not have jurisdiction over that area.
Isn't there water being pumped from Edwards into that well?
Yes, but that is in Bear County and outside of our
That's right, and
jurisdiction.
it's gonna work, you want to worry about your water. If they keep putting that sand, that alkali water in your sand, you cannot backflush the Carrizo sand. You're gonna run out of water.
So Dennis, there was a question from this gentleman over here asking about the mitigation program that Springs Hill. Can you go into a little more detail about that?
Sure.
And how it's determined that a well would qualify for the mitigation program?
Yes, thank you. So in working with, the Evergreen has experience doing these well permits and recommended and Springs Hill accepted, including this mitigation language in the permit. So if there are certain triggers, then Springs Hill is on the hook to take action to mitigate any unanticipated effects, right? We use a model, we use the best science we have, but if for any reason, and it doesn't have to be Springs Hill, the way that it's set up, it could be that there's another well somewhere that's causing the drawdown. But if we use the model and we say we think we're going to be at this level in this year.
Hold on 1 second. This is my question. So if you guys are pumping, say 100,000 for how many did you say a minute?
1,600 a minute.
1,600 a minute.
Yeah, 2.3
And a well over here is pumping 30. You guys could determine that, oh, your neighbor is the reason why.
No, that's just the opposite. It's just the opposite of what he's saying.
Regardless of why it
Said
happens.
that you could determine, or is your neighbor drawing down your?
No, we're still on the
No,
hook.
what I'm saying is, no matter what the cause, if the drawdown in the well that's within a radius of our well, if that is more than what we modeled, then Springs Hill has to take measures to rectify that. And we can provide water to that homeowner, we can reset their well deeper, we could,
How do you provide
No
water
charge.
to them?
yes, yes.
And their crops.
And like I said, it's only a function of, we did modeling, And so we said, here's the water. I'm sorry?
Another question, how deep is the well? You guys have avoided it, around 400 feet.
I
don't remember the exact.
I don't have the number.
8 miles down the road, 8 miles down the road, south we have, or north, we have a 340 and a 400-foot well. So that's what I'm saying, around 400 foot.
Most residents around here probably said right around 200.
And it may be shallower in that area.
Yeah, so it's around 200 feet. So what you're saying is, you're going down 200 more feet and drawing down. I know when the fields start irrigating, my well drops. And they're not going out anywhere near what you're talking about today. So for you to say that you guys have done this in, a mile to 2 miles, there's going to be minimum impact, that's false. Just because you ask a computer what's going to happen, doesn't mean that's what happens.
I understand the point.
Process.
But we're under the obligation to use the best tools that we have.
How fast is that process of you guys coming out and giving water back to people that no longer have water? How long do they have to ship water in? Do you cover all that? Why you guys are seeing if it's your problem?
It doesn't matter whether it's Springs Hills cause or not. It's just a so if the drawdown.
Point you call you and you guys have a 2,000-gallon water truck sitting out in front of the house in 20 minutes.
I can't get it there in 20 minutes, but I'll get it there. I did it over the flooding area.
So someone should record this, saying that, okay. You'll have it there as soon as possible when your well goes dry.
If it's in the trigger area and it shares, that's a number.
How about 123?
The whole aquifer is.
You guys are gonna bring in further damage our brand new road, which, I don't know, you guys probably don't know this and don't care. We've had plenty of citizens killed on this road.
Yeah.
Because Tech Doc does super dangerous stuff. And you guys are talking about bringing in more 18-wheelers, more wheels down here, destroying our road. That way more citizens die. Are you guys, when you're doing the construction, because do you have a fixed road? Is there anything like that with the state of Texas with you guys? Or do you just get a free pass on destroying our stuff?
I wouldn't.
Actually, we won't.
We don't destroy the roadways and don't get any free pass on destroying anything. So just like
you're not, nothing's coming down 123. None of your 18 is bringing anything down.
1117, Guadalupe County. We turn off on on County Road, which is right there on the county line, I believe, and it's the county roads back to the well, and there back to where the proposed well.
Where Charlie County used to have seed discount programs.
That one.
And you're old.
Oh, I know that.
yes, sir. In the blue shirt, you have your hand up. I think.
Looking for a while.
Talking about 400 foot, I just recently had a well drilled here in Weston County. It's almost 500 foot deep.
Okay.
So I don't know where y'all, it's out here there, and my well's at 120 feet. So you're drawing off my water table for my agricultural purposes, for my livestock. To feed somebody's home.
Well, I feel like we're projecting a lot of hostility towards these gentlemen, and they're just asking for permission when we really need to be directing it to Evergreen. And I think that's who we need to be arguing with on this, because these guys are just saying anything we get it. Like, that's their job. We've done this. We don't think it's gonna be bad, we're gonna try. But Evergreen is the people that have to actually sign on the bottom line, and that's who we need to be talking to.
I appreciate it. We're here to do the process.
Yeah, you guys are doing your job. Evergreen is doing their job.
Two things I want to say to well vet, because I unfortunately speculated, but we have the proposed well construction plans right here, and anyone's available to look at them. And the well that we're proposing to set the turbine line shaft
Y'all just remember November 20th.
to about 250 feet.
Oh, my bad.
So,
250 is the depth.
That's my bad. I was guessing because of our other wells that we have down the road. My personal well is 300.
Real quick, what I would like to make sure that people are aware of, if you would like to submit comments.
Y'all tell me how to make comments, y'all, and how to fight this, if you want to fight it. Go ahead.
So if you would like to submit comments, or if you're concerned and you want to eventually participate in the mitigation program that Springs Hill has agreed to as a provision of their permit, if their permit is approved. You need to make sure that your well is registered or permitted with the district. If it is not, we don't know about it, and we can't apply the rules to afford you those protections. So Sam is our permit coordinator. She has registrations, blank forms. If you need them, you can get them tonight. She also has instructions for you if you're like, hey, I don't know if my well is registered or permitted. We have a website where you can go and look up to see if your well is registered or permitted. So very much, it's really important that you go look up to see whether your well is registered or permitted, and if it's not, please come see us to get that paperwork taken care of.
But it's
What
not
about
gonna
city?
only
Because
affect.
I have one that is registered outside of the city, and I also live in the city and
They
am
get paid very
concerned
well.
about our city water.
Yeah,
The city, the wells are permitted, and
So I can put that down as one of my wells.
And they get
so you
paid
have
very
your
well.
wells that you own.
And they don't do
If
a damn
the
thing.
city owns and operates, they
They
are
go for
liable
business.
for that well.
I used to-
Okay, so same
I used to
thing,
live
same
over on
girl.
that Guadalupe River.
I mean, it's gonna affect everybody's life, not just people right next door to this well.
I get that.
So,
Good water.
I don't have a well, I have tub code, so you just answered my question, it's already there.
So John has permitted wells, and they would be able to ask for that protection.
And Sunco just, they pump 16.2 million gallons a month. That's it. All of Sunco, that's what their permit was.
I'm a right of garage, and I will let anybody
Same
fill out. I know.
The only thing I can say, probably don't.
Appreciate it.